Hello and welcome to Study Stream Sparkling Contention. This is a special session about decoding India's Olympic woes and why India's Olympic dream is far from reality. So let's start without any further ado. As a nation, we have a fascinating capacity to gloss over our defeats with pumped up stories of chivalry, glory, and triumph. But a country with vibrant democracy of 1.3 billion has very little to say when it comes to the glory in world's biggest stage, that is Olympic. If we look at the history of India's Olympic, the Olympics were not held on 1942-44 due to the World War II, and after the independence, India sent their largest contingent of 86 athletes for the 1948 Olympics. India was a very dominant force in hockey before, but that was pre-independence, where Major Dhyan Chand and his team has been instrumental in winning gold in hockey. But after independence, it was Balbir Singh Senior who India has found a huge superstar in him. India won the Olympic hockey tournament with 38-0. That was a huge margin at that time, and it's still to be broken by any team. The Rome Olympic 4 years later in 1960 saw the legendary Milkha Singh, who fall short of the Olympic bronze medal in the 400 meter category. India didn't have a memorable run in the 1980s, as we have lost in 1984, 1988 Seoul Olympic. India didn't win 1992 Barcelona Olympic as well. There was a time when PT Usha, who also came fourth, very marginally couldn't get the bronze. But the drought ends on 1996 when Leander Paes has won the bronze medal in men's singles category in lawn tennis. 4 years later in Sydney, Karnam Malleshwari became the first woman to win an Olympic medal with her bronze. In 2004 Athens Olympic, Rajyavardhan Singh Rathore won first shooting medal for trap. In 2008 Beijing Olympic was a huge watershed moment in India's Olympic history. As we all know, Abhinav Bindra became the first Indian to win the gold medal in the individual category in the 10-meter air rifle event. In that year, Vijender Singh and wrestler Sushil Kumar also had won the bronze medal, ensuring that India won multiple medals at a single games for the first time since 1952. 2012 London Olympic saw Saina Nehwal win India's first Olympic medal in badminton. Sushil Kumar bagged his second Olympic medal. Gagan Narang won, Vijay Kumar won in the men's pistol section. Mary Kom as a boxer and Yogeshwar Dutt as a wrestler also become part of India's glory, India's biggest haul at the Summer Olympic since date. At Rio 2016, PV Sindhu and Sakshi Malik were India's only medalist, and it was the medal tally was fully made up by the female athletes. Let's see why China is an Olympic success story before coming back to India. Because we share a neighborhood, not very friendly, but we share some commonality like the population. But why China becomes so much improved country as a sporting nation? In 2008 Beijing Olympic was a watershed moment for their history. They had, I think, that changed their perspective as a growing global power. Yeah, it was historical, where the Olympic participants in their home get the highest number of gold medals, beating the formidable United States side. So there was a sustained sports program in the 1950s communist regime Children were divided into sports on basis of physical characteristics, where some children who were in short in height had to go to gymnastic, and others people force other children to go in the other sections. And at this moment it has over 3000 school and 4 lakh athletes, and very much professional, and athletes are very rugged. Their training is very much difficult. A report estimated in the China Youth Daily that its athlete, the cost of this China's athlete for Beijing was close to 586 million US dollar. Introduction of Asian sports like badminton, table tennis, and judo, taekwondo, that the traditional sports of Asia has been a huge factor for China's Olympic success story. As you can see, after the adding of badminton in 1992, from that time to 2012 it has won 16 gold. And when trampoline was added as an Olympic sports in 2000, the Chinese immediately made sure to put funding and resources towards training because the level of competition was very low at the start. And in 2008, in the 8 year span, they have won both gold medal and a bronze in men's and women's trampoline in just a matter of time. This was China's medal stat since their introduction in Olympic in 1984. You can see how much gold tally has improved since the year, and 2008 Beijing Olympic, it reaches the zenith. So these are some reasons where the top-down approach has become a success story, where the government decides what the athlete should eat, how much time they should sleep, what coach they must have. So unlike the other Western countries where it's a bottom to top approach. Smart allocation fund has been a factor. They concentrate on sports that they can win or succeed at, be it sports they see as an opportunity which is less competitive, or sports that they can know they win. In most countries, men's sports generally receives more attention and funding than women's. China would therefore be more easily capable of catching up and surpassing other countries through putting greater amounts of funding and resources toward women's sports. As you can see from the graph, how much women have been instrumental for winning the medals in China than the men. Now let's look at why India has been a disappointment in the Olympic. Most Indian athletes struggle to get enough funding. It has been a huge problem since the beginning, and now it doesn't seem like it has been solved. Most of the Indian athletes could not afford world-class coaches. Avinav Bindra, the gold medalist of 2008 Olympic, had said, "We lack grassroots level programs where young people are encouraged, where young people are given the adequate facilities, they are given the adequate know-how." The lack of genetic pool. There are various debates on this, but at least in this case, Kenya and Jamaica has proved true after further research. For example, the Rift Valley athletes from Kenya, the Kalenjin tribe, dominate the long and middle distance races, while the Jamaican athletes dominate the sprints. The ACT3 and N3 genes are very extensively found in them. But can it be the only factor? Don't think so, because India, we can have the 10 times of their people like them, but we cannot condition them, we cannot find them earlier, we cannot nurture them like the Kenyans. They have been despite having the gene, they have been at the high altitude, they train at high altitude, they have a vision to win for their country, that which India very much lack. Thanks to India's systematic failure, we could not empower them in last 20 or 30 years despite having resources. The big problem is infrastructure. Karna Maleshwari, who had won the Sydney Olympic in 2000 in weightlifting, said that she was self-funded until she brought home a medal, and even then, the weights she was given on training didn't meet his Olympic standards. A small country like Holland has 200 astroturfs for hockey, but in India we have just 15. That explains why India's hockey dreams have fallen apart. More focus on cricket. Yes, India is a cricket crazy nation, and cricket takes all the lion's share of funding, investment, sponsorship. So, and yes, it also sucks up the most of the great athletes. And there is a big socio-economic barrier too. 40% of India people do not have access to fill the stomach. Sports are only seen as recreational activities for the millions of youth who are striving to be at the top of their class in a country where there are over 100 million unemployed. There is an old saying in Hindi, खेलोगे कूदोगे तो होगे खराब, पढ़ोगे लिखोगे तो बनोगे नवाब. Means if you are playing all day, you will become eventually a bad person, but if you are studying, you can be the king and do whatever you want. So that explains a lot why India has not become a success story like China. In India, the encouragement only comes after the achievement, so more chance of giving it up for a well-paid job at the very early stage, which is a quite different picture you can see in Western countries, where average teenager is to spend several years of training for medal, and if it doesn't work out, he or she still has a great shot at a middle class life. In short, he has a greater stability, greater security sense, so it helps them to do well in their competitions. Lack of nationalistic fervor. India is a huge country and it has different number of ethnicities, so they don't necessarily see them as a one country. Rather, they see them as a representative of caste member of different community, unlike China, where their nationalistic approach before Olympic came, it reaches the zenith. The lack of media attention in Rio Olympic, people even didn't even know about the event of Deepa Karmakar, who came very close in the gymnastics section of winning the medal and did a Prodonova vault, but we didn't know the event, when the event is going to happen. We didn't know that India participates in that section. Sports corruption body is a huge factor in India. The bureaucracy of Indian sports is very much exposed. Fraudulent of ages, doping, the sexual harassment of women at workplace, match fixing, these are still the age-old things that are prevalent in India. Incidents like sabotage at athletes' food within athletes' circle is a shambolic picture in India's quest for medal. We have seen the incidents like Narsingh Yadav before the 2016 Rio Olympic, who was a before the Olympic he was a world champion. He couldn't go to Rio Olympic for allegedly getting doped and by his own teammate. SAI on January 9, 2019 has suspended 4 of its officials after they are arrested for the charge of corruption. The road ahead. Don't be satisfied with simple competing. Encourage the young children and build up by channeling more money into better facilities, equipments, training, coaches, rehabilitation. Help the parents understand that sports can be a lucrative field by giving more scholarship to athletes in college. Start scoping up talent in the rural areas in addition to urban slums. Never know, fishermen may make amazing swimmers. Feed your athletes. Fewer malls, more multi-sports complexes. Focus on sports where they have a natural advantage, like badminton over basketball. More accountability, transparency, and penalties at every level of government to combat the corruption. If every other country thinks of athletes as a geopolitical advantage, India should too. Popularize different sports by showcasing exhibition during the break time of cricket matches. Empower the women athlete is a very good factor. Set up a specialized task force like TOPS by Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports is a very good flagship program in the right direction for the Olympic podium finish. So thank you very much. Let's hope India wins some gold medal this time around and make all of us proud. Please like, share and subscribe the video for more content like this. Thank you very much. We will see you in the next session. Thank you.